You alright there? What you doing?
So how do you two know each other?
Oh, he once spent 9 months with my leg wrapped around his head. Excuse me?
She's my twin sister. She thinks she's funny, but frankly, I've never been able to see it.
Because you have no measurable sense of humor, Shelley.
How exactly would one measure a sense of humor? You humor monster. Well, I think you're delightfully cool. Or as the French say, très drôle.
Okay, so let me see if I got this. Leonard, Howard, and... I'm sorry, what was your name again?
Time to catch some fish to make some bait money. Ah, that was close. Come on. Fishing here used to be so goddamn easy, now it's difficult. There we go, there's a fish. Okay, $135. We'll catch at least 5 more.
Destiny, thy name is Anaheim.
And I had to drop off some papers for Shelley to sign for my dad's estate.
The papers could have been mailed. Mom just sent you here to spy on me, didn't she?
I guess that's why they call you a genius.
Call me a genius because I'm a genius. Tell Mom that I currently weigh 165 pounds and that I'm having regular bowel movements. Enjoy the wedding. Goodbye. If the wedding's not till tomorrow, why don't you stay with us tonight?
Oh, I don't think so. Shelley doesn't like company. Even as a little boy, he'd send his imaginary friends home at the end of the day.
They were not friends. They were imaginary colleagues. But you're here. We have plenty of room. No, we don't. Come on, Shirley. She's family. So what? I don't issue invitations to your mother.
Well, it would be nice not to have to drive to Anaheim in rush hour.
And don't ever call me Shirley. So it's settled. You'll stay with us. I'll walk you to your car. You're instruction free. Have a seat, right?
So anyway, we're 8 years old, and Sheldon converts my easy bake oven to some kind of high-powered furnace.
I needed a place to fire ceramic semiconductor substrates for homemade integrated circuits.
He was trying to build some sort of armed robot to keep me out of his room.
Made necessary by her insistence on going into my room.
Anyway, it wasn't until there's a big flash.
So what game you on now,
Eyebrows are gone.
Your eyebrows?
Mr. Thompson?
Yep. I had to go through the entire
What
second
game you on now?
eyebrows my mom drew off.
Is that what that was? I just assumed that the second grade curriculum had rendered you quizzical.
Hey, Leonard, you left your underwear on the dryer downstairs.
They're not mine.
Really? They have your little name label in them.
Yeah, no, I use those to
Why is the fish fort so expensive to repair?
Continent of India.
Well, there's Dr. Patel at a church.
Ah, yes, but they are good man. Do you like motorcycles? Because I ride a hog. Hog? You have a two-cylinder scooter with a basket in the front. You still have to wear a helmet.
Missouri, New York, North Carolina. North Kakalaki.
In other words, if you wonder who wrote the book of love.
Oh, Sheldon's sister is pretty cute.
I wasn't staring.
I didn't say you were, I just said she was cute.
Huh. Maybe. We like women who are tall. Perfect.
Sheldon, why are you so
I'm not ignoring my sister. I'm ignoring all of you. Facts.
Oh my! Gherkins and...
Onion dip, it's onion dip. We don't entertain much. Missy, do you enjoy pajamas?
I guess.
The Iranians invented them. You're welcome. Yeah, well, my people invented circumcision. You're welcome.
Missy, I'm gonna go get my nails done. Do you wanna come? God, yes. Thanks. You're welcome. Bye, guys. Goodbye, Leonard.
Oh, yeah, no, bye, Penny. Okay, you two have to back off. Why should I back off? You back off. Excuse me.
What to do? What to go fishing for?
Penny, how do I have Penny? In what universe do I have Penny? So I can have Penny? Hell no! Excuse me, can I interject something? I'm ordering pizza online. Is everyone okay with pepperoni? Sonny, can I talk to you in private? I guess.
I don't know what to do.
Thank you. It's okay. Lactose intolerance is nothing to be embarrassed about. I'm a Pepsi Indian man. We invented pajamas. Hey, look at me. I don't have a foreskin. Sheldon, are you aware that your sister is an incredibly attractive woman? She certainly has symmetry and low body fat that Western culture deems desirable. It's noteworthy at other points in history, heavier women were the standard for beauty because their girth suggested affluence. That's fascinating, but I said it was fascinating. I said it was noteworthy. All right, noted. But my point is that if you're calling them novelists, they're hitting on your sister. Oh, okay. You know, I don't want to criticize your rhetorical style, but we'd be a lot further along in this conversation if you'd begun with that thought. That's great. What I'm saying is that we took quite an unnecessary beat to move what an hour.
Okay, we're gonna check out this place.
You have to do something about it. Why?
Let's see if we can make some money with catfish.
I don't understand. Yes, we shared a uterus for 9 months. Since then, we've pretty much gone
Alright, we're going to fish at 50 inches deep and cast out there.
Consider this. With your father gone, it is your responsibility to make sure that Minnie chooses a suitable mate. Consider that.
Oh yeah, by the way, do you want to see what I did today?
Responsibility, however remote, and resting in her loins is the potential for another individual as remarkable as myself. Exactly.
Cool.
And you owe it to yourself and to posterity to protect the genetic integrity of your sister's future offspring. You're right. If someone wants to get in Missy's fallopian tubes, they'll have to go through me.
Okay. Still nothing so far. I'm sure if we put it in the right spot. Okay. It's way too close. We're not gonna get anywhere good at this rate. But We will try. Could be a while before we make a profit, before we can go to one of the top lakes again. It sucks that they really do up the price for the higher lakes, and with the higher equipment comes higher maintenance costs. They just push you into a corner to pay for the game. It's really hard to play this game and keeping it free to play. I mean, in total I've spent what, 25 quid, but that's enough. Okay, fish and close in. Not what we're looking for, but it's worth something. Someone's fishing over my spot. Ugh. I can't be arsed arguing with people over stupid fishing spots at the moment, so we're just gonna have to go to a private room. Can't be bothered. There are people out there that will give you abuse for fishing in the same spot as them. It's pathetic. It's really pathetic. So we're just going to keep it private. In our favourite swim, once again, we're going to cast out properly this time. That's more like it. So if you haven't watched one of my previous videos on the Narran River, you want to cast it between 35 and 42 feet. That is the sweet spot in this part of the river. You spawn in at the bottom right, or basically the slap bang bottom place to spawn. You move under the tree just to the left of it, and you fish just out here. And we've caught a smallmouth bass today already, and we're in again, but it doesn't look like it's what we're after. Actually, it looks like it may be. Okay, yep, this is what we're after. We're after this flathead catfish. Okay, right. Wants to run. Okay. It'd be rather annoying if I caught a trophy when I wasn't doing a trophy hunting video. Well, it is a catfish, and it is very feisty for a 17-pound catfish. This is on the fairly small side in comparison. We're looking for fish roughly double the size of this. In fact, I want a fish almost exactly double this, because my biggest fish is 35 point something pounds. And it is a catfish from here, so to catch it, did I say 35? I meant 34, which I caught in here, so 35 is the goal. So these are the fish records that I currently keep for myself. The trophy flathead catfish, the blue catfish, and a pretty insane unique channel catfish, which I caught in the first trophy catching video that I actually uploaded. That was a hell of a catch. So yeah, as you can see, 34.2 pounds is what we're looking for. A fish that I caught 3 days after Christmas. We're gonna go get it now. I want to break that record. I want to break that record, but I'm not going to do it with 17-pound fish. So there's a good chance I may go for a slightly bigger hook. Let's put instead of a 5. Right, so to explain the equipment we're using for flathead catfishing, this isn't an ideal float rod. If you can get a better float fishing rod than this, then please do. Up to 22 pounds. The real max drag 20 pounds. As you've seen, I'm using these sort of hooks, the 5-0 and the 6-0. Right, don't get misguided by the other hooks, like the ones like this one, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, because the higher you go up, the smaller the hooks are getting. But in this case, with the -0s at the end, the bigger the number, the bigger the hook. And this is sort of looking for the 60-pound fish, and then these are getting the biggest hooks out for the biggest fish in the game. 50 inches, there's probably a better sweet spot than that, but with my success rate, the 55 has definitely been the best. Okay, so let's we're gonna do that. Let's go fishing. Okay.
We're gonna fight over, Missy. Let's do it the right way. The honorable.
Okay, we did it wrong.
Ow, take that! You want some more? Come on, yeah! Stay down, bitch.
Come on. Okay, we're just within the sweet spot. If we get dragged out, we'll let out some more line. That looks good.
Hey, Leonard.
Oh, hi, Penny. How's it going? Listen, that guy Mike that we were dating, is that still going on?
Pretty much. Why?
Nothing, just catching up. By the way, may I speak to Missy, please?
Of course. Leonard, what's up?
Well, since you're leaving tomorrow, I was wondering if you'd like to go to dinner with me.
But no thanks.
Oh. You have other plans? Oh. Alright, enjoy the rest of your evening.
Come on. There we go.
There's something we didn't anticipate.
What are you like, Howard?
I'm fine, thanks for asking. I've come to call on Missy.
Missy.
Come on, go into those ripples, just like that. Okay, we're just sort of exiting the range now. We're getting minimal attention. It is pulling a little bit, but we're not seeing a significant bite. It's a shame. Okay, well apparently there was no fish there, so we're gonna make sure we get the distance right this time. There we go. Okay, we're not going to reel it in this time. We're going to see if we can leave it out. 39 is a good distance. 39.40 is usually the good spot. 2 fish so far. $500 for the 2 fish. Okay, it's been dragged against the current. That's what we need to see. Okay, so something's interested, so we'll prep the reel.
I'm always bragging to my friends about my brother, the rocket scientist.
You tell people I'm a rocket scientist?
Well, yeah.
I'm a theoretical physicist. What's the difference?
Gosh.
My God. Well, why don't you just tell them that I'm a toll taker at the Golden Gate Bridge?
Come on, come on. Don't be shy today. We need the money. Can't go to the better lakes, you see, if we don't make decent profit on the fairly basic places like this. You really have to nail down the technique if you don't want to pay for a membership. If you pay for the membership, then each fish gains value. As you'll see when you play the game, you have what you make on the left and you have what the premium account would give you on the right, and the premium account would usually give you a couple of thousand more in total at the end of the day, more than the other. It's a shame, but you know, it is a free game, and let's face it, they're not going to let you go all the way without paying anything. I've paid 20 quid so far, which means in time I'd probably be willing to pay another max 20 quid. But when you add up the total of all the things to buy in the game, not including the membership, you're looking at hundreds of pounds, hundreds of dollars. And that's when it just gets a bit crazy for me. Especially when it's a fishing game. Like, it's, if you were to invest like in premium, playing this game for 2 years, you might as well actually go out and buy a real fishing rod and get real gear and take fishing trips across the world for the same cost. Right, I know what the problem is. We're using too big a hook now. We got a bit cocky by using the 6, so we're going to cut back down. The 5 is usually good, but just to avoid risk. Okay, come on. Okay, that's right, that's the wrong category, that's why. Right, we're going to use a 4. Cut back just a little bit, barbless, so it's easy to hook. Okay. There we go. Okay, going madly against the current, very good sign. Come on. Smaller hook now, so there's no excuse. We should be hooking the largemouth bass, we should be hooking the flatheads, we should be hooking the smallmouth bass. Maybe even the odd greedy American shad, which are occasionally under these trees. But that's what we like. Again, pulling it to the right. Definitely fish here, they're just not willing to take. We've got different baits, we've got different hooks, we've got all the right equipment to succeed here in the Narran though. Only a level 10 river, this one. But anything with a current requires patience. I've had a couple of better videos for sure. Particularly in my trophy hunting video, they were coming out for the camera's sake, you know. I'd rarely see them consistently, and then I caught one straight off the bat with the first cast, and pretty sure I caught another one with either the next cast or the cast after that one. And then all the uniques and trophies we caught in Quanchkin. I guess for early content I've been spoilt with good fish, but the last 1 or 2 definitely been a bit drier. Just leaving a party at the moment so I can focus more on this. Bear with me. I apologize that we're not really having much in the way of action. I'm equally as frustrated. But there are other ways to catch fish in this place. If I can keep what... I might change the sweet spot, you know. I've actually kept maintaining that I know where the sweet spot is, but I don't change it enough. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe I'm close to the sweet spot and I've just forgotten. Still pulling though. Something is wanting to take that hook. There we go, there we go. Fish on, fish on. It's not that big though. I take it back. It's taking some ground, so it's exactly what we're looking for. A little bit of kick. If you've got a 20-pound rod and the fish is giving a little kick, that means you know you're into something that you're after. There it is. That's a flathead for sure. Is it bigger than 17? It's bigger than 17, but still not the 35-pound monster we're looking for. They can obviously get bigger, but they can't here in the Narren. I'm pretty sure... Hang on, let's just double check. Right, I'm just going to double check if they actually have uniques here. I don't think they do. Nope. Okay, so we got a 22-pound fish. It's an alright fish to catch, but it's not the one we're looking for. But finally we caught something. It's about time. I mean, there's no real excuse for us to not be catching anything at this point. Early morning is one of the best times to catch the flatheads in this place. Okay, we've got another. And it's another flathead. Well, this one came in very easily. And it's the biggest yet. Didn't put any fight, swam straight towards us, and that's our first trophy of the day, 26 pounds. This spot really is just a gold mine for these fish. $500 for a fish. Who needs premium? Who needs premium if it's $500 a fish at this level? I will admit though, this technique only does work if you have a big net, but hey, oh, this is my technique. Shiners are kind of a universal bait, so we're going to cut back on using them a little bit, just so I can save some, use some of the bait that I go through rather slowly, like the cut bait, which I use for very minimal fish at the moment. So we're going slightly further than usual, 42 feet. If we get absolutely nothing around this corner, then I will reel it towards those ripples we've seen, which are roughly at the 39-40 feet mark. Okay, we're in the ripples. We may have brought it in slightly too close, by a couple of feet. We're minimizing the range of fish we can catch as well at the moment. Medium cut bait is very specific to the flathead catfish, and I don't really and the gar. Yeah, the long-nosed gar and the flatheads are the only two real fish. They'll go for medium cut bait in here. Everything else, the large mouth, the small mouth, as I said, the occasional American shad, they will go for the shiners, and small minnows as well. The best way to make money isn't from fishing the catfish. This is just how to do it with catching as minimal fish as possible. If I really wanted to make a serious profit, I would be bass fishing. So if you're on here looking for money techniques, that's what I'm going to tell you right now. Catch bass. Largemouth or smallmouth, doesn't matter. They pretty much take the same things. Go down with a casting spoon, or even do what I was doing with the shiners in different spots, maybe small minnows. There's a lot in here, and we're in again. We're not needing to increase the reel tension all the way, so we're not in any immediate danger. And there's another cat. Half decent one, 20 pounds this time. It's a long fish actually compared to one of the others, I'm pretty sure. So we've got 88.6 pounds worth of fish, and we are within the first hour, in-game hour of the day, and there's 24. You get 24 to fish. We're needing to make a minimum of $3,300, a little bit more to compensate for the bait loss. So we're hoping for at least maybe $4,000. So double this, and yeah, to make a good amount of money, maybe double it again. I want to try and fill as much as this net as possible so I can get to one of the better lakes, because that's just where the bigger fish are, you know. This is the biggest fish I can catch at a low level cheaply. The other places is just, well, on the odd occasion it's big pike or big walleyes, but it's the only place you're going to see 20 pound, 30 pound fish is by fishing in here. Nice little whip in the line there. Okay, let's reel it in 2 feet, push it out again, and we've got a tension. Little vibration in the float. Another vibration. Usually a better sign than just the lure being pulled. Come on. Come on, you picky bastards. They're being very shy. The big ones are being shy. Mind you, I never did catch any of them on a size 4 hook. They were caught on size 5 hooks. The only time I've had fish take a size 8 hook is in White Moose Lake, and never mind, my reel wasn't set, that was my mistake, and St. Croix, which are higher level lakes. And it's another flathead, another 20 pounder. Seems to be the consistent weight at the moment, 20 pounds. I was, when we joined the original open server, someone did manage to reel in a 32 pounder. And, oh my god, we have something playing about with the cut bait already. There's a good chance that the vibrations aren't actually catfish, that they're gar instead. Because there's long-nosed gar in this spot, just like there is in the north of the map as well. I don't think there's any gar of significant size in here. The biggest gar are the alligator gar on Quanchkin Lake, which are the biggest fish in the game. Top 100 fish ever caught in Fishing Planet, all alligator gar, all well over 90 pounds. Biggest one I'm pretty sure is close to 120. Whoa, whoa, whoa. the float's doing some weird stuff. That's not catfish behavior. I'm sorry if I'm sounding a bit like a pompous ass when I say stuff like that, but it's just when I've been playing this game, I'm usually observant, and you sort of learn the difference between spots and bait and biting styles. Some fish are harder to hook than others, some just take it and run, some slowly drag it down. There's different styles to different fish. And the catfish has a couple of styles, but that vibration and knocking is not normal catfish behavior. Whatever it is between that rock and the gap between the start of that rock opposite us to the end, so that gap there, I'm just gonna briefly, hang on, I'm gonna briefly aim between there and there. There's something in here that's making our float vibrate, our bait vibrate. Okay, here we go. That's us at the distance. We're starting to approach the reel-in distance. There's usually not much fish after this point. And there's the vibration again. Okay, tighten the line. Vibration again. Maybe I need to use an even smaller hook. Ah, yeah, I get it. There was a fish there. It didn't bite the bait, so it's its fault. Okay, we're sitting at $2,000 now. We're getting inching ever so closer to our goal. But I think it's time to go back onto the fives and shiners. The legendary combo which caught the biggest fish that I've caught in the game. Whoa, getting dragged. That's good. It's very, very good. Something is interested. And it's on the size 5. And all of a sudden the vibration stops. And now we're back to being dragged. And at first I thought that the drag in the bait was only down to the shiners being alive. Because if you haven't noticed this already, if you use small minnows or any sort of fish bait like that, shiners, large minnows, small minnows, all the intact baits are still alive. I haven't seen if that's the freakish truth with frogs yet. I hope not. But everything else has been alive when tossed in. And there was the theory that the float only goes from side to side because the bait's alive. But the amount of times it's dragged like that, and it's been related, not just a coincidence. And plus, this bait drag thing I've seen happen with baits that aren't alive. You know, when marshmallows do that, then what is it? It's got to be a fish. Something is pulling, but nothing is biting.
Here's the thing. There are a number of options. Leonard might come home. We talk him out of it. So he is no time back.
Come on. Once again, I'm seeing... stop saying that the fish is gone. There's clearly nothing taking it. Well, we've done fairly decent so far, but we've still not been able to break even, which is a problem for me, because I am not a premium user. If I was a premium user, I would have already broken even. In fact, I probably already would have made a profit. But I'm sorry, I refuse to pay 80 quid a year just so I got a little bit extra money on a fishing game. I really hope that someone high up within the Fishing Planet community watches one of these videos. You know, I appreciate there is a staff, there is a group that needs to be paid for maintaining and creating this game. I understand that. And I'm not saying take out the microtransactions completely. But what I'm saying is be realistic, okay? You're a fishing game. You're not going to win any awards, and you're certainly not going to sell out on any incredible DLC packs you're going to release in the future, or you already have, okay? I bought one because your game is unplayable unless you buy something to help you. Right, I managed to get to level 31 without having to pay for a single thing in the game, right? And now I've had to make a microtransaction just so I can catch the big fish, because I cannot make enough money to get to the level to start leveling up again. I think that's ridiculous. Does no one think that that's not ridiculous? Right? You're not going to win any awards for this game, so a year membership for this game should not be anything above 30 quid. Or, I don't know, $40 for a year membership. It should be no more than that. It is not worth any more than that. I'd pay 30 quid, maybe even 40 quid at a push a year. Okay, I could do that per year, but oh my god, to double it at least, it's criminal. And then your Baitcoin prices, right? Just to unlock a level 15 or level 20 lake, you have to spend £15. Again, $25. What the hell is that? It's criminal. Like, the DLC and in currency buying on this game is even more preposterous than Rockstar with GTA. Like, it's unbelievable. It is unbelievable. And honestly, Fishing Planet, you are missing out on so much, because you'd personally get my money if you made it cheaper. You see, that's how it works. You see, people aren't worried about paying a lot of money over time, right? People are just worried about spending a lot of money at once for something minute. Okay, if it's something minute and it's constant every year, not as bad. But if it's big amounts of money for something small, no one's interested. 40 quid a year is nothing to most people, so people do it. It'd be nothing to me, but 80 quid is, for me, that was more than a whole week of working just to pay for this. Come on, we've got to be realistic here, right? This game needs to be a lot cheaper. It doesn't matter if it's a free game. Memberships aren't worth that amount of money. Not even games like Warcraft and all that rely on membership cost that much. The only game I can think that costs just as much as Star Wars The Old Republic, and no offense, they don't even have the cheek to ask you to pay for the DLCs, unlike this. And I'll tell you another reason why I lost respect for Fishing Planet for a while, as we reel in a £21 fish. The fish nerf. Now, I discussed this with quite a few higher members of the community, and they were in complete agreement with me that for a while after an update, the amount of fish that we were catching had been significantly reduced, especially in the starting lake, where the beginners go. They've reduced the amount of fish that could be caught in the beginner's lake. Did they honestly expect people to get hooked on the game by doing that? I mean, where does the logic come from? I mean, seriously, I mean, fishing is based on hunting. It requires a unique intelligence within itself, yet when it comes to marketing a game, it's as if it's been taken over by dumbass accountants who don't know a fucking thing about what they're doing. If the intros, if you can't catch fish in the opening lake, then why the hell would you commit? Why would you commit that? If I barely caught a thing when I started playing this game, yeah, sure, I'd question it at first. Yeah, it's early days. Yeah, it's my gear. But then I'd go watch some videos, I'd get all the tips I need, and then I'd still have the same problem. So congratulations, Fishing Planet. You would have had my attention for about an hour. And then I would have quit. And I know so many people who have downloaded this game and quit within an hour after that update. Because that's when I started to get my friends into it. Because I was like, oh, this is a decent update. They got rid of the historic fish, which were pointless. So now I'm going to get my friends into it, so I'm not by myself. All of them got bored. I go back to the starting lake, and as you've seen at the start, I caught one fish. I caught one largemouth bass in the first hour at that lake. Let's put it this way. When I used to play half a year ago, and before then, I could catch $1,000 worth of fish within the first in-game hour. So about 5-10 minutes, I would have caught $1,000 worth of fish. And if you're at the start, $1,000 is everything. $1,000 is so much money at the start of the game. And hey, if you're even doing it at this level, you make that trip 2 or 3 times, that's $2,000 or $3,000. Okay, got fish on. Sorry about that little rant there, but honestly, Fishing Planet are their own worst enemy. The reason why this isn't as big as it should be, it's because of them. I mean, look, I'm not going to say that this is cutting edge graphics, right? But I mean, look, does it really get much closer than this? With the rod and the gear and the fish, and not to mention the photos, right? This isn't cutting edge, but this is good graphics, right? Is it worth 80 quid a year? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. They do not offer half the amount of perks they should for being a member. If you watch my videos, I promise you will learn some tips on how play this game, enjoy it for what it is, and not get ripped off by the people who run it. I really wish they wouldn't do it. This game would be so much easier to promote. But it's a free game, and up until you hit a decent level and you catch decent fish, you really don't need to spend any money at all. If you follow the basic techniques, you go after the right fish, you do your research. It's like real fishing. You know, they have nailed the simulation part of it, I must admit. It's not a bad game. It's just not worth the amount of money they think it's worth. And if you go to the Nerin, oh wow, what a hit that was. Definitely not a smallmouth. Sorry, definitely not a flathead. I saw it come out of the water and put the word into my mouth. It's definitely a smallmouth. Yeah, that was definitely not a flathead. The moment it took. So we're at 169.5 pounds. I'm pretty sure we would be close to the $3,300 mark, which is what we need to break even. But as I said, need to eclipse for bait reasons and of course just for general money really. We came here to make a profit to go to the bigger lakes. Bigger lakes require a lot of money. Again, another thing they try to do to you. And this is how you beat it. So, another fish with fight. So it's gonna be a flathead. Yes it is. But not a big one. Average size, 20 pounds. It's the average we've caught so far. Come on, man. 159 pounds of fish, and we still have only caught one trophy catfish compared to the several we caught in one of the previous videos. We're using exactly the same technique, so I am at a loss why we're only getting average sized fish at the moment. Sorry fish, too late. Right, how much money we made? 3,700, so we've got a $400 profit at the moment. I think 2 or 3 more fish and then we'll be able to call it a day from here. I know I say that, but it's taken so long to catch what we've got already. Yeah, okay. Fish on. But it's not a flathead. At least they make up for the cost of bait, I suppose. I don't even think we need to... Oh, that's too much. And again, another smallmouth. Come on, man. Where are the flatheads? Ugh. Right, let's have a look at the weather chart. 5 p.m. Okay, so they go back up at 5 p.m., do they? Alright, so that's what we're going to do. We're going to fast forward to... no, we're not. We're going to fast forward to 6 p.m. where it's slightly overcast. And we're going to fish in exactly the same spot. Okay, straight away we're in a fish that we're having to haul out from the depths. And it's a flathead catfish, finally. It's not a trophy, but it's a 21 pounder. That was a very bad cast. Okay, so 115 pounds left of room for fish. I'm sorry if this has been a rather dreary video when I have filmed here before in the Narren, in a trophy hunting video. But this is one of my preferred methods of money hauling, as I call it. These fish are definitely not valuable in the grand scheme of things. You've seen it yourself. These are 20 odd pound fish worth less than $500, and I've been catching the odd smallmouth bass worth nearly $200, barely even weighing 3 pounds. If I caught a largemouth bass, I'd be making even more money. And the best time to catch them is in this spot, but in night time. It's getting quite late here in Scotland. There we go, fish, fish, fish. Again, we're having to haul it out. But it's a largemouth. Half decent. Again, at least it's worth some money, which is why we're here, so I can't fully complain. Don't know why I didn't limit that cast. That was such a bad idea. So now we're at 43 feet. That's too much. That's too... okay. It might be too much, but I don't have a choice. It looks like we've got attention straight away, though, so... life is not full of total regret. Okay, fish. And again, though, not a flathead. That's another smallmouth. Good God. It's expensive bait to waste on crappy fish. Speaking of expensive bait, that's what we're going to throw in next. Medium cut bait. Can't really complain to though, to be honest. I mean, we have probably cracked the $4,000 mark thanks to those small fish. But to just... Okay. Okay. And this is why you take casting spools down to the Woody enchantment. Nice 3-pound largemouth bass. Okay, we're definitely not going to try to aim to fill the net now. We're just going to go for profit. If these largemouth are going to keep... If we can catch these consistently, I'd rather do this right now. Because we've broken even. So now it's just a matter of earning profit. And if the flathead catfish are just going to be tedious, then yeah, I'm going to go proper spinning for these bad boys. Stop and go, my favorite technique for sure. Okay. Whoa, we sank to the bottom real fast there. Must have cast right up to the shallow end of the edge. There are bigger largemouth out there. The biggest one I think I've caught in here was 5 pounds. 5.1, 5.2. It's a good fish. It's worth a good bit of money too. Something's interested in our spoon. It just tried to bite it there. If your spoon doesn't change depth whilst you're reeling in and you start to see slight bits of blue on that pressure scale on the right, and I mean ever so slight on the blue, like that, never mind, that's when everything disappeared. That means it's stuck. If the lure stays and you see that tension, try to strike, but be gentle about it. Go for a gentle L2 strike, so just tap it. So full on striking like you usually would. Then it'll either let it go, or if you're lucky, it should hook them. There was attention, didn't take it though. Okay. Well, we have had a couple of knocks, but since that largemouth, nothing's been biting. Everything's just been nibbling, which isn't enough to get money. But that might be, and again, just a nibble. It's always the same distance. It might just be a snag, a little snag. Can happen sometimes if it always happens in the same spot. Okay, we had a little blue wave there, but then nothing afterwards. Okay, cut bait this time. And if you were looking at what I was doing on the fish species, you'd understand why. I'm fishing one of the two hotspots for the long-nosed gar, which I suspected was causing the vibration in the lure. And guess what? As soon as we chuck it back out there, we're getting vibrations in the lure. I don't think the bass eat cut bait. I don't think they're big enough to eat the cut bait. I don't see why they wouldn't,
which does not.
but I've never caught a bass on cut bait. Only gar and catfish. And I think one trout. One very, very optimistic brown trout at Falcon Lake.
So I heard your relationship with Penny crashed the ground like blue eyes falling out of an airplane lavatory.
You know that.
Actually, I read it. Walrus texted me.
Like blue eyes falling out of an airplane lavatory, yeah.
Say goodbye to him now. Anyway, these got me thinking, now that you're unattached, maybe we can revisit our previous attachment.
Are you suggesting another outer space release?
No, I'm all done with casual sex. Now I'm fully committed to the casino-related paradigm.
What changed?
Nothing serious. It's just a time in every woman's life when she gets tired of working up on a screen between condos and other people she doesn't know.
I can see how that would drive a bunch of people.
Anyway, I just figure it's time to slow things down, and you're better to slow things down than video.
Wrong bait. I know I'm going. I said I was going for the gar, but as I've already said, I'm really not. I'm just going for the money. You know what? If we've made over $4,000, which we have, we've made $5,000. And I think it's time to leave this place.
Thank you, that's really thoughtful.
Okay, so we made $5,000. So, apart from the ludicrous amount of money they want me to spend to fix my net, which is $5,000, they want me to pay what I just made to fix my net. Unbelievable, right? So we're approaching the 10 grand mark. We can't go to St. Croix. Emerald Lake isn't worth it. Lone Star isn't worth it. Quanchkin is unaffordable. Falcon Lake isn't really worth it.
So let's a date. I have a date coming over. Oh. You can't blame me for not jumping to that conclusion. Why? What's so unusual about me having a date? Statistically speaking. Well, but nevertheless, I have one now, and I'd appreciate if you would, make yourself scarce. Leonard, I am a published theoretical physicist with 2 doctorates and an IQ which can't be accurately measured by normal tests. How much scarcer could I be? You know what I mean. Could you just give us a little privacy? You want me to leave the apartment? Yes. You mean just go someplace else and be someplace else? Yes. Well, why should I leave? This is my apartment too. I know it is. And if science ever discovers a second member of your species and you two would like some privacy, I'd be more than happy to get out of your way. Well, all right then.
Sheldon? What are you doing?
Playing Super Mario on a poorly coded Nintendo 64 emulator.
Yeah, but why are you doing on the stairs?
I am a modern-day Napoleon exiled to the Elba of the staircase because Leonard, get this, has a date.
Oh, good for him. But why are you sitting here? Why don't you just go to a movie or something?
Alone?
Yeah, why not?
What if I choke on my popcorn? Who will administer the Heimlich maneuver?
Well, then don't order popcorn.
No popcorn at the listen to yourself.
Well, why don't you go to a coffee shop?
I don't drink coffee.
They have other things.
What do they have?
I don't know. They have cookies, pastries.
Pastries such as...
Okay, we're gonna go for some trout, I think, in Colorado. We're gonna try some unique and trophy trout hunting.
Leslie. All the overrated physicists in all the labs in all the world. Why does it have to be Leslie Winkle?
Well, they have a lot in common. They're both scientists.
Oh, please. I wish you could make a contribution to science, be if they resume sending chimps into space.
Okay, well, I have a date too.
Everybody has a date. Even you, Mario, going after Princess Peach. What am I doing? I'm just enabling you.
We're gonna stock up on some salmon eggs.
Thanks.
Not Chaz?
No, thanks.
What happened to Chaz?
Good change.
spawn sacks.
How many children did we dish out? I'm sorry. That was a little abrupt.
A little.
I mean, there are so many things to talk about before we discuss reproduction.
I sure hope so.
Besides shortness, what genetic weakness is running our family?
I'm sorry to interrupt. Battery's dying. Continue. Genetic weakness, right? Well, there's the lactose intolerance. Don't forget the male pattern baldness. When his uncles sit around the dinner table, they look like a half carton of eggs. Okay, yeah, my uncles are bald, but my aunt had is one of the hairiest women to ever meet, so. Sweet lady. I always tickles when she hugs me. What now? Listen, I'm sorry about all of Sheldon's interruptions. He can be a bit of an eccentric.
If by eccentric you mean passive-aggressive East Texas blowhole, I agree.
Tonight was a very good start.
Me too. You're sure you're okay postponing intercourse until our relationship is past the initial viability test?
No problem. I'm very skilled at postponing intercourse. I guess I'll call you and we'll arrange another evening.
Yes. I believe protocol dictates that you wait a minimum of 18 hours before you call, so I'm not repulsed by your cloying eagerness.
Sure.
Again, it's your decision. You're the man.
No, it wasn't my cat. It was an experiment designed by this guy named Schrodinger.
From the Charlie Brown cartoons?
No, he was some kind of scientist. Let me start again. Oh, hey, Leonard.
Well,
Leslie. Hi.
okay, well, good night.
Okay, well, good night. Call me.
Right.
Okay, good night. Have a great time, Chuck.
Right, okay, let's pick a lure. Back to Slim.
There are some few places I can wear my Kester costume. I know, there are far too many historical anomalies for my comfort. Oh, okay, how about this? You can go dressed as a Star Trek science officer exploring a planet similar to Earth in the 1500s. You mean like Spock? Sure. Fascinating.
Hey, fellow scientists. Sheldon.
Why don't we all move over there so Leslie can join us? Let's do it.
Okay, time to go trout fishing in Colorado. So, I'm going to cut this video and we're going to begin another trophy hunting episode, this time for trout. Thank you.